All right, guys, welcome back. I am doing some different stuff today. We are changing it up. I am doing this on StreamYard, and we're going to see how that goes. It's kind of a new thing for me. So for some reason, I can't get my headphones to work. So I'm just hoping and praying that this is working. I did a couple tests and it worked. So we shall see. Um, Welcome back. But today we are going to dive into Scotch Part 2. I know. I know what you're thinking. Um, we're not going to get as in depth on what is Scotch or anything like that. We are mainly going to talk about some two other regions of Scotland, basically. So we're going to go through those, and I'm looking through my plethora of notes, and I am going to release this video um, of the podcast, not on every platform, if you know what I mean. I am going to only release this on, wait for it, my Patreon. Yes, exactly. I have started a Patreon. I guess we're getting into the nuts and bolts of it already, but I have started a Patreon. It's obviously patreon.com/the whiskey shaman. Please support me. I'm asking for support as of right now. It is a monetary investment, but at the same time, it is going to be well worth, I feel, well worth the investment that you're putting into it. I'm going to be creating exclusive content just for Patreon. And I will have links to that in the description below. So please go check that out. There's three different tiers as of right now. And they are going to be constantly changing and constantly, they're going to be some different stuff. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I've already got one patron, and I appreciate Psych Man. I'm gonna give you a shout out, Psych Man. He's been holding it down. So yeah, I mean, it's a really cool thing, and if y'all are interested in it or want to learn more about it, just go to patreon.com/whiskey shaman. All right. Um, okay, we're gonna get into Scotch. I promise. We're gonna talk about Scotch. We're gonna talk about all the things that go with it. But at the same time, it's been a minute since we talked, and so I want to get back into it. The last video or the last podcast that I recorded was actually the Dry January one. When it was just you and I. I've had some guests on. A couple were one was a little cringy for me, not for anybody else, but for me. I, had a little chemo head, and it didn't go the way I wanted it to. But yeah, we've had a couple guests on now, and it's been really fun, and I've really enjoyed it, getting back at it. So in case you guys didn't know, and I released this as a podcast as well, but I did a live stream, and I really want to know from you guys if that's something that you guys are into. Just let me know. And on the live stream, it was aptly named, the Free and Clear live stream. So, in case you didn't know, I mean, we knew that we were done with treatment and all those things, but we actually went to the doctor and got a free and clear from the doctor, which meant no more cancer, no more anything, all good, all good. So that night or that weekend, I caveat to that, I jumped in head first, like you do. I jumped in head first, and the Saturday, or it's actually Friday and Saturday, there was a barbecue cook-off, and I was invited to that. If I could be out in public, if my levels were good and everything like that. So, luckily they were, and so I was able to go to the barbecue cook-off, and I helped make pork ribs, and I helped make chicken, and I helped with cutting the brisket and making sure that it was ready to go on the pit. And it was just a really, really good time. Um, and then caveat inside a caveat, I don't know if that's even the right word to say, but anyway, doesn't matter. Um, I that Saturday morning, which this has been a couple of weeks ago now, that Saturday morning, Garrison Brothers, a Texas distillery, had a new bottling that they were releasing at 8 o'clock in the morning. And so I told y'all that I was going to start doing more whiskey stuff. So what I did is I jumped in the truck. Where the barbecue cook-off was little more than halfway to Garrison Brothers. Perfect. So I was going that way anyway. So I got up extra early on that Saturday, and I drove past the barbecue cook-off place and went to Garrison Brothers and sat in line with about 50 to 100 other people that sat in their car till 8 o'clock in the morning and picked up a bottle of Garrison Brothers Guadalupe, which is their port finished bourbon. It was pretty good. I actually opened it up on the live stream that I did, so make sure you check that out. It's on YouTube, and I think it may be archived in Facebook. It did not go to Instagram. I don't know why it didn't go to Instagram, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that was really cool. And then I did the barbecue cooked off and finished off with that. I did not place in ribs or chicken, which was kind of disappointing because I'm not saying I'm the best cook in the world. I'm not. But I felt everybody who ate my ribs and the chicken said that they were amazing, which there's a lot of amazing people over there. So it was 52 teams or something like that. So there was a bunch of teams. But we did place ninth, which I know that's not great, but we did place ninth in brisket. Yeah. And my wife, she came, and her and the people I was with, they made a Dutch oven treat, and they made a mixed berry cobbler, and it got fourth place. Pretty cool. So anyway, moving on. It was really fun. Then we did the live stream. That was excellent. I had Jerem from Freedom Malts and Marshall from Rough Spirits on, and we BS'd, talked, drank some whiskey. It was really fun. Anyway, so I've been feeling really good. Went back to work a little bit, and that was really pretty fun. And I learned yesterday that you can overdo it still, even just working temporarily, you can overdo it. So that was, I had to kind of work through that, but that's okay. Um, it's been really good. I go back to the doctor March 28th to do my second set of scans. As you can, if you're on video, you can see that my mustache is coming in. The beard's taking its time, everything in due time, of course. Oh, man. And just to let you know, I am still drinking water. So, not that I can't drink whiskey. I can drink whiskey right now. I just, it's not time to drink whiskey. Not yet. Not yet. It will be. It will be. Another thing I wanted to talk about is so I started the Patreon. Obviously, I still have challenge coins available if you guys want a challenge coin. But also, I'm really trying to do a lot different content. Not just on the podcast, but like everywhere that I in my socials and stuff like that, trying to do different content. So if you're into that, please check all that stuff out. Um, all right. We will talk about sponsors later. About halfway through, we'll talk about sponsors. How about that? Okay. So we got that out of the way. Okay. So we are going to talk about Scotch. We are going to talk about Scotch. A lot of Scotch. A lot of Scotch. Okay. So I've got like 6, 8 pages. Let's start here. Okay, so the last time, if you guys remember, the last time we're 10 minutes in. That was, I feel like that's pretty good for not seeing y'all for a minute. The last time we talked about Scotch and the different regions of Scotch, we did the Highlands and we did the Lowlands, right? and we talked a little bit about what Scotch was and what Scotch wasn't, the different types of Scotch, the blended, the single malt, all that stuff. We're not going to dive into any of that today. Today, we're mainly just talking about the regions of Scotch. Okay. So we talked about the Highlands and the Lowlands, and that was fine. But there's more regions and there's more places to go. Scotland has a vast array of what do you call it? Oh crap, I lost it. It has a very its landscape is has mountains. It has all kinds of stuff. For being such a small area, it definitely has a. Now the climate is pretty temperate, obviously, so it's not like you're not gonna get high fluctuations and different things. They don't have a very hot summer. I know they do get warm, but every time every time I get on the mic, I want to yawn or burp. I don't know what the deal is. I think it's talking, like you're talking, and it does that. All right, so let's talk about Speyside. Okay, so Speyside is a distinct region of Scotland, um, and it is nestled within the Scottish Highlands. So, like up at the very north of Scotland, I don't have a picture of it. I would show you a picture. Up at the very north of Scotland, there's a region that is set apart from. A lot of people think that Highlands and Speyside are one and the same. There's not a dividing line like we talked about with Highlands and Lowlands. There's not a dividing line like a fault line or something like that. It's just a territorial line. And again, this was all set back way back in time. So don't take any of the things that I say. I actually, it's what's funny is right off camera, you can't see it, but I have a Highland Scotch that we are going to do something with very soon. So it's kind of funny. I could not find a Speyside. I didn't have a Speyside. Everything I have was Highland, which was kind of weird. And the other one I have is Isla. So we're not talking about Isla today. We're talking about Speyside and one other. So if you guys know your regions of Scotland, you'll know which ones. Speyside is nestled within the Scottish Highlands and is globally acclaimed for its concentration of whiskey distilleries. You know, it's hard to come back. Of Scotch produced in Speyside, they can be traced to illicit distilling back in the early 1800s, evolving into legal operations by the 19th century. Actually, it was more like 1890s, something like that, 1880s. Geographically, the region benefits from a temperate climate and abundance of fresh water, particularly the River Spey. Okay, the proximity to the barley fields and the peat source, along with the region's water, contributes to a unique flavor profile of Speyside whiskey. Okay, so there is the rivers. A lot of these distilleries back in the day, obviously almost all distilleries back in the day, they had to be by a water source. They couldn't just have a distillery in the middle of nowhere. You had to be by a water source. So a lot of them, like Glenfiddich, Glenmorangie, the Glen means a little lake of water or like a clearing in the land where they're next to water, like a river, a stream, it's something that they can pull water from to distill with. So that's pretty cool. So some of the key distilleries that are in the Highlands. Okay. Glenfiddich. I know you guys have heard of Glenfiddich. It was established in 1886 and is one of the most famous single malt Scotch whiskeys globally. Globally. Macallan. We've all heard of Macallan, right? They're known for their premium expressions. Macallan has a history that dates back to 1824. That's pretty old, dude. That's pretty old. Glenlivet, one of the oldest legal distilleries. Oh crap! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One of the oldest legal distilleries in the region, dating back to 1824 as well. Known for its smooth and fruity whiskeys. You know, you know what they say. One thing I'll say, and this is a caveat because I'm watching myself in the monitor. Whenever you have no hair, I still don't have, is I have very little hair. It's nubby. It's quarter inch at the most. Um, I'm wearing a beanie, right? Just because your head gets cold, you don't want to bonk it, stuff like that. The beanies don't stay on my fat head. I'm sorry, they don't. Um, it's really kind of strange. So another distillery that's in Speyside, sorry, is Aberlour. They're renowned for their rich and for its rich and sherry cask matured whiskeys. Aberlour has a history dating back to 1826. Balvenie, we've all heard of Balvenie, right? Balvenie is famous in its traditional craftsmanship and its honeyed character. Balvenie was founded in 1892, so a little bit later than exploring these distilleries offer insight into Speyside's diverse whiskey making techniques and its traditional methods and innovative approach to shaping the dynamic of the Scotch landscape. And then it will kind of go into each one of the distilleries, which is kind of cool. I got this. This was a mixed thing that I printed off from both Wikipedia and Visit Scotland. So if you're looking for resources, I think I talked about that last time, but that's what these are. And these are from 22, late 22. So they might have changed. It's been a year or so since we are into 24. We are going to talk about Balvenie Distillery first. Okay. Now, Balvenie is situated in Dufftown, Speyside, Scotland, obviously. and it has handcrafted single malts, blah, blah, blah. Balvenie was founded by William Grant in 1892. Remarkably, it remains an independent family-owned distillery managed by the same family that owns Glenfiddich, another prominent Speyside distillery. We What sets Balvenie apart is their dedication to traditional methods. The distillery maintains its own floor malting, where barley is still turned by hand. The floor malting process allows for a greater control over the malt character. Balvenie employs traditional copper pot stills for distillation. The shape and size of these still play a crucial role in shaping the final flavor profile of the whiskey. And we've talked about that maybe a couple times. That they are so particular about the way that their stills are made. And let's say for some reason something was dropped on the still and it made a dent in it, right? They would actually, when they built a new still, they would actually put a dent in the same exact spot because they thought that, and it is true, like you get what they call passive reflux from minor infractions in the copper. And yes, I'm not saying it's going to make the whiskey taste any different, but it could. Who knows? Um, Okay, Balvenie is known for extensive use of different casks for types of maturing. They often experiment with various wood finishes like rum, sherry, bourbon that impart distinct flavors in their whiskey. This is true, but they all use rum, sherry, bourbon. It's they all do that. Balvenie is proud of its team, including its craftsmen, including copper workers and coopers that repair the casks, malt men that still turn the barley. They their commitment to manual labor contributes to the artisanal quality of their whiskey. Balvenie's core range includes, not excludes, includes, sorry, includes their expression like Balvenie Doublewood, which is known for maturing both in traditional cask and sherry cask, and Balvenie Caribbean cask, finished in rum cask, which is really good. But I saw it the other day in the store, and man, it was expensive. It was like $1.25. I was like, I don't know, man. Um, blah blah blah. All right, all right. So Balvenie it's a cool distillery. They're all fairly similar. All of these distilleries are fairly similar. They're not really anything great. I mean, they're cool places. I mean, I can't wait to go and be at them, and believe me, I'm going to take you guys along the way. So don't feel like you're gonna get left out if it happens. When it happens, who knows? All right, let's talk about Abalore. Abalore is located in the heart of Speyside, near the village Abalore. Who would have thought, right? In celebration of not in celebration. It is celebrated for producing rich and complex single malts. Blah blah blah. Okay. Abalore was established by James Fleming in 1826. Fleming, a man of passion about creating high quality whiskeys, he implemented a philosophy that is still influences Abalore's production today, a commitment to tradition, craftsmanship, and attention to detail. That's a big deal. The distillery draws its water from the Ben Rias Mountains, contributing to the distinct character of Avalore's whiskey. The water is soft and pure, the ideal production for high quality Scotch. Guess what? Trash. Let's go. Oh, I made it. I made it in the trash can. All right. Uh, Abalore and Flores copper pot stills, common practice in the region. They are combined. The combination of traditional pot stills and careful distillation techniques help them capture a rich, full body flavor, which they mature in American oak and sherry cask. The sherry cask influence it gives a deep fruity roll. Abalore's core range, here they are, is the Abalore 12-year-old, which is it's a great baseline Scotch, and Abalore Abuna. I I don't know how to say it right. A apostrophe B UNADH. It's a cast strength, non age stated expression known for its bold and intense flavor, along with their popular releases. I got one. I got it right up there on the shelf. Okay. Abalore is actively involved in the local community, supporting initiatives ranging from education to environmental conservation. The commitment reflects the distillery's dedication to its roots. That's cool. Um, and then it says blah, blah, blah about the whiskey, right? It basically just says, come to the distillery and, like stupid shit like that. Anyway, so to me, I got a bunch of other stuff. That's all the ones I had. Oh God. So to me, Speyside is very much island like. I know some people would be very upset by that. I do feel that they use a little bit more sherry in their influence. I do feel that the core ranges that they're talking about, the Macallan, Avalor, Balvenie, they are our heritage brands. They are very well known brands, and that's just what they are. You know what I mean? And they have their core line, and that's it. Every once in a while, like Macallan has 700 different lines that they come out with, but like a lot of these, they literally have 3 bottles. That's it. Like you get a cast strength version, you get a 12 and an 18. That's it. Like they're not trying to make a whole bunch of different whiskey for forever. They might every once in a while have a single barrel or something like that, but it's very rare. Maybe a distillery exclusive, or something like that, but it's not very often. Um, Speyside is really cool. The issue is it is on the very tippy top of Scotland. So let's say you flew into Edinburgh, right? And you wanted to go to Balvenie, for instance. It's like a 4-hour drive which for some people that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal really. Um, but a 4-hour drive through the Scottish, countryside, that's not a horrible day, right? That's not a bad day. I'm sure there's 10,000 distilleries on your way to the one you're going to, so that helps as well. Speyside has over 40 different distilleries in like a 100-mile radius, something like that. I have the rest of the distilleries right here. Oh, that's not even this podcast. So, I got so much paperwork and so much crap that I'm doing that it's like I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. But anyway, so Speyside to me is, like I said, it's a little fruitier. They're using a little bit more sherry. Um, they I don't know that it is different. It is different than a Highland, but at the same time, it's very much the same. Obviously, it's just regionally the same, but that does not mean that it's not a little bit different as well. Because you can also get some Speyside that is like a little briny or a little this. And Balvenie does a peat week where they every once a year they do a peated run of their whiskey, which I have yet to have, which I've neglected not buying a peat week. They do a week's worth of runs on a peated mash bill, and they go from there, which is really cool. I think it's really cool. Um, so, um, Speyside to me, is just quintessential Scotch, right? It's not. You're not really coloring too far out of the box. Now the Balvenie Caribbean cask or the rum cask one, that one is a little bit different. Like it does have a very, very influential rum taste to it, which I enjoy. Some people don't care for a rum cask, but I enjoy it. But I also love very heavy sherried scotches. So, that's just me. Um, but one thing I will look through here because I want to see. Um, so I just wanted to find there was one that I thought was in Speyside. Um, I just wanted to make sure it was in there. I have a huge list. I mean, this is so crazy. Um, no, 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 no. Bim Rios is in Speyside. Um, I'm just looking. I know this is great. Craig Ellicky. I almost picked up a Craig Ellicky today when I was at the so-called liquor store. I say so-called because they don't. It's hard for liquor stores um to get scotches. It's really hard unless they have a reason to sell them. One of the ones that is in the Highlands is Glenfarclas. It's pretty heavily sherried. Um, Glen Grant, Glen Keith, all of the Glens. No, not all the Glens, but they go from side to side. Glens Bay, um, Knock, yeah, Knockdew, Linkwood, Longmorn, which Longmorn is amazing. It really is. Milton Duff, Spey Burn. Shit, it's not gonna show it. It's not gonna tell me. Um, Tobermoor. Well, I'm sorry. It didn't tell me the one that I wanted. Well, not the one that I wanted, but the one I thought. I thought that possibly um one of the other ones was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you can find what I would not require you to do. You can do what you want. It's your life. What I would request or whatever, get you a Highland Scotch, whatever, Glenmorangie, doesn't matter. Then get you a Speyside. Try them side by side. Try to get the same finish. If you're getting a sherry, get a sherry. You know what I mean? But try to do that. And see kind of what the flavor differences is because there will be some. Every distillery has flavor differences, so it's not like you're not going to have a difference. It's just that you're going to have a very slight difference. You know what I mean? So take that for what it is. Okay, so are we ready to move on? I think we are. Nope, we're not. We are not ready to move on. We are going to talk about our sponsors real fast. Did my wife leave the the dogs out? Hold on one second. Let me. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry, my wife left and left the dang dogs out. And whenever I'm in the shed recording, I can't just leave and watch them. So I don't know. Anyway, she's all wrapped up in her. She's doing a gala for our son's school, and it has taken over her mind. Okay, let's talk about our sponsors for this podcast and for life. Obviously, we're going to talk about Bad Motivator, right? Badmotivatorbarrels.com. Use my affiliate link in the pinned comment or whatever down below. I don't know why I always mess that up. I don't know. Chris is really making some cool stuff. He just started making a split barrel, which is half cherry wood, half American oak. It's pretty cool. Now I don't care what you do with the barrels. I mean, I do care. Obviously, I do care. They are amazing barrels. They hold about 750 gallon, 750 milliliter bottles. So you'll have enough for you'll have quite a bit. But yet it's still small enough to where you can monitor it fairly easy. You can go to a local distillery, get some of their new make, get some of their younger whiskey, throw it in there, age it a little more, make your own thing. You can do an infinity barrel like that one right there. You can't see it if you're listening. You can't see it, but I'm fixing to record some more stuff with that. There's all sorts of things you can do. You can make a craft cocktail and put it in there. Try not to use a bunch of sugar. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. And they look really cool on the shelf as well. So if you want, please go pick up one at Bad Motivator Barrels and use my link down below. All right. And then our second sponsor. I said it. You know him. You love him. It's Zach Smith, right? I'm sending a shout out to my fellow whiskey somm. Yeah, Zach's a whiskey somm, level 3, just like me, who runs an outfit called Z Smith Whiskey and Mixology, right? He does bar and restaurant spirit consulting, offering a variety of services from bar and staff training to cocktail creation, all the way, all the way, all the way to, sorry, I can't read, all the way to overall bar design and spirit curation. If you are a business that serves alcohol and is looking to enhance your customer experience, Zach is a great guy to assist you with that. He is. And if you're an individual and not a business, Zach offers his own whiskey, spirits, and cocktail education and tasting classes that are tailored to your venue or event. Regardless, he's got a cool Facebook and Instagram page under Z Smith Whiskey and Mixology, where he posts free cocktail recipes and history of spirits posted weekly. To gain more knowledge in the world of spirits, Zach has been involved in the spirits industry for years, running various bars from football stadiums to distilleries, and working in distilleries from every point of production and sales, and just all overall a spirit nerd that's happy to share the word with everybody. Give him a follow, Z Smith Whiskey and Mixology. Let me tell you something, and this is not we're done with the ad. But Zach, that dude works his butt off to get to get you guys some stuff, and I try to post all of his stuff because it's really interesting um content that he's putting out there. It's a lot of history, a lot of nerdy stuff, which I'm into. So it's just really cool, you know. So I appreciate him for sponsoring as well. We're doing a little trial thing and seeing if it works. I hope it works out for you, Zach. So please go visit him and give him a follow, give him a like, tell him that the shaman sent you. And obviously, Bad Motivator. All right, let's do it. let's get into the second part, the second half. No, let's get into it and kind of talk about um, distillery, a region of Scotland that's pretty dear to my heart. And you're probably thinking, well, what? We're halfway through the show. You think you're gonna? No, I am talking about Campbelltown. Yeah, I'm talking about Campbelltown, Scotland. It's a region. Um, okay, so Campbelltown is a historic town located in the Kent. I'm gonna spell it. Ready? Kintyre. Kintyre Peninsula in Scotland. Its history is rich, dating back to prehistoric times. Wow. With evidence of human settlers found in that area. It became an important center of trade and fishing during the medieval period. In the 19th century, Campbelltown was a thriving hub for shipbuilding and whiskey production with over 30 distilleries at its peak. 30 distilleries on a little peninsula. That's a lot. However, yeah, economic decline hit the region in the early 20th century, leading to the closure of many distilleries and decline in other industries. They were a really big port, big fishing expeditions and stuff like that. Um, and it just hit them, during the early 1900 or early 20th century. It just hit them hard, and they weren't able to recover from it. Very similar to Irish, the Irish distilleries just got destroyed. Um, I'm not going to get into the history of it and the fact that the kings around there were not great and, stealing and raping and pillaging and doing all those things. But I will tell you this: Campbelltown is coming back, and it's coming back hard. Um, okay, Campbelltown is situated in the southern coast of the peninsula in Argyll and Bute, Scotland. It's surrounded by picturesque landscape with the Mull to Kinthry to the south. The town's characteristic and by its historical agriculture and the Georgian and Victorian buildings. So a lot of people from Georgia? No, not that Georgia. Georgia, Africa, right? No, Georgia is like in Europe. Yeah. Uh, so Campbelltown is renowned for its whiskey production. Although the number of distilleries have significantly decreased over time, some of the notable distilleries in the region include, and there's like 3, so maybe 4 now. Springbank Distillery. We know them. We love it. One of the oldest family-owned distilleries in Scotland, in the entire of Scotland, producing a range of single malt whiskeys. And we'll get into Springbank. Believe me, we're going to get into Springbank. Glen Scotia, another historic distillery known for its traditional craftsmanship and distinct single malts. Every time I talk, I got to get a drink. All right. Where were we? Glen Scotia. I don't know how to say this one the right way. I think it's Glengyle. Glengyle. Glengyle is what I would think. Revived in the early 2000s. This distillery produces the Kilkerran single malt. Cool. I like Kilkerran. Campbelltown's whiskey industry has experienced a resurgence. Like I said, come on, listen to me. A resurgence in a number of years with a renowned focus on quality and craftsmanship. The region's whiskeys are prized and the unique character and flavor profile influenced by maritime climate and local heat. 9 out of 10 of the whiskeys you get from Campbellside are going to be peated. There is some. I think Longrow isn't peated. Don't hold me to that. We're going to get into it. Okay. Springbank Distillery Let's get into it. Ready? Springbank Distillery was founded in 1828 by the Reed family. Now, you hear all these words about families, all these different families, and those were the big families back in the day. I went back to work and like my back's like, you know, that's what you get for going back to work. Maybe if I like lean back. Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh God. Where was I? By the Reed family, making it one of the oldest operational distilleries in Scotland. Has long stories about downturns, changes in the whiskey industry over the years. Unlike many other distilleries, Springbank has remained family owned throughout its existence, with the Mitchell family acquiring it in 1837 and is still run by them today. Today, like 1837, dude. That's crazy. Okay. Springbank produces a unique is unique and it carries an entire whiskey production process on site from malting to bottling. The distillery uses traditional methods. Why do they say that? Because I guess they have to say something. Traditional methods and equipments, including direct fire still, which is scary as hell. They're using fire on their still, which is making alcohol, which is very flammable, which is rare in the industry today. Most of them are steam jacketed today, um, which is way more efficient too. But it's Springbank, dude. Springbank is gonna like if you like you're not gonna get it if you don't like smoky peaty scotches, but Springbank is in a level of its own. Like literally, it is unlike any whiskey, any scotch out there. Um, blah 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 blah. They produce three different styles of whiskey. Okay. Springbank, their flagship single malt known for its complexity and character, and Super Peaty. Longrow, a heavily peated whiskey offering a smokier flavor. Okay, so Longrow is the peated one. Hazelburn is unpeated. Okay, it's a triple distilled, unpeated, prized for its smoothness and lightness. I need to get Longrow and Hazelburn. I've had a sample of both of those, but I need to get Longrow and Hazelburn. I'm gonna put that on my notes right now. Y'all just gonna have to bear with me. This is live action shit right here, boys. Okay, where's my list? Did I do a list? Well, Longrow Z burn. All right, done. Okay, that's just on my list. You know what I mean? All right, so Springbank's whiskeys are matured in a variety of casks, including bourbon, sherry, and port. They experiment with different cask finishes to create unique flavor profiles. It takes place in the distillery's warehouse where the whiskey interacts with the coastal climate and the coastal climate of Campbelltown, influencing its final character. Springbank offers guided tours, providing insight on whiskey making and the distillery's history. Blah, blah, blah. A visitor's sample of the range of their expressions. There's a shop on site, and they are committed to craftsmanship, and they're highly prized and blah blah blah. This goes into a little bit more detail on Springbank. They do floor malting, on-site bottling, everything. Everything is done at that distillery or in that area. But now let's talk about. Oh my God! Did it do the same thing again? Where is it? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be stupid, but like, what is going on? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's talk about Glen Scotia. The other one, I don't have a whole lot of information on. So, Glen Scotia is situated in Campbelltown. It goes back to the early 1900s. They're one of the few remaining distilleries on Campbelltown, where it was historically known as the whiskey capital of the world. The distillery has undergone various ownership changes and renovations through its history, and so that's why it's a little bit different. I've had Glen Scotia before; it's really pretty good. Glen Scotia produces a diverse range of whiskeys, each with their own distinct character. Their expressions are both peated and unpeated, showcasing the versatility of the distillery. Campbelltown's coastal location imparts a maritime influence on their whiskey, often resulting in a sea salt or brine or a touch of coastal element. So, like, it'd be perfect for like if you're at the beach. You know what I mean? But when you're at the beach, it's hot, and you don't want to drink cast strength peated whiskey normally. Put it on a rock, I guess. Whatever. In recent years, Glen Scotia has undergone renovations and improvements to modernize parts of the distillery while maintaining its historic charm. The core range is typically Glen Scotia Double Cask, Glen Scotia 15, and other offerings. Glen Scotia releases limited edition cask releases to attract enthusiasts. They do provide tours and to learn more, uh, and they help out in the community, which is really important because you think about it. If you have what they call a heritage brand and you're not helping out in your local community, you're doing the community a disservice because I sit back up now. Now that I'm done reading, sit back up and be a grown baby man. If you're not giving back to the community, that you are employing some of these people and you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing in that town, you're, paying your taxes and doing your thing, then, what's the point? You know what I mean? So, I'm glad to see that they are giving back when they can. Um, okay. Well, that's that. That's that. We're done. Bye. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, so we have one more region of Scotland left, and you know which one it is, and it's going to take me a little while because I want to do some more research on it and give you some more stuff to go with it. I feel that um, these are going fairly well because there's a lot to learn about Scotch in itself, and there's a lot of different bottles out there that are, man, they're you don't even know what to pick up. Like I talked about in liquor store mistakes. You don't even want to look at the bottle because you don't even know what it is. And so hopefully shedding some of the light. I know it gets a little nerdy when you're talking about different distilleries and different things and this and that, and it's all like, where are you at, where are you from, but it does make a difference, and it will influence your purchasing in the future. So I would tell you, if you are into peated scotches, if that's your jam, Campbelltown is the way to go. They are semi difficult to find in store. They are semi difficult to find. I found a Springbank 10 once. I was able to get a couple of other ones, but they were just like one off. One bottle, that's all that was there, and I just happened upon it. There might be some online. Um, Spaceside's a lot easier to get. You can find Spaceside all day. Um, Although I couldn't find one at. Oh no, I found a Craig Ellicky, um, but didn't get it. It was like $85, and I was like, not today. I haven't got paid yet. You know what I mean? That's that's just kind of how it is. You know what I mean? Now that I'm back slowly working, I got to be a little more diligent about um, what I'm spending my money on and where I'm putting my money. So anyway, that being said, um, so we have, like I said, we have one more region, and it's going to be a little bit before I get to that, um, but it's going to be fun. So Scotland in itself is pretty fascinating because it's like a entire, which it's like the United States or you know Canada or whatever. It has its own like ecosystem, which is really kind of strange. And like the people are, and I don't know a lot of Scottish people that are from Scotland, right? It's very territorial, kind of like here, kind of like in the United States. Like I keep saying, we're from Texas. Everybody says Texas. We all love Texas. But if you're from Oklahoma, whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it is. So I say all that to say, like, like people, the regions of Scotland are very territorial. Now, when we get to Islay, that's on an island, so they're even more like kind of away from. Now, it's not that far, but like they're even more away from the mainland. So like the things that they have to do make it even harder because they have to get things shipped over there, which is kind of difficult, right? Um, but I have really enjoyed deep diving into the different distilleries, and I got gifted. Sorry, I was fixing to sneeze. I got gifted a bottle of Macallan. Yeah, I got gifted a bottle of Macallan. I think it was the double oak. Um, I am not going to open it right now because the client that gave it to me wants me to, once I finish the plumbing on her house, wants me to come over at the end and we'll have a drink. And I'm like, that's fine. That's I can do that. You gave me the bottle, I can at least do that, right? Um, but McAllen to me, and this is going to get into tasting corner, if you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call it. McAllen to me is a beautiful nose. Like it has a beautiful floral citrus, a little honeysuckle, depending upon the cast, obviously. Um, it's very nice. The taste falls a little bit short. And that's not every McAllen, right? The ones that I've only had two, maybe two, three, and that's samples. This is the first bottle that I've actually had in my possession. Just because, like there's so much out there, like, man, yeah. So now there's other people out there that absolutely adore McAllen. They absolutely adore it, and that goes with every whiskey that you drink. And this will be my thing. Like I keep saying, and I harp on, but it's a real thing. Taste is so subjective. Find the whiskey that you like, right? Find the whiskey that you like, and just don't like lean into it, but lean into it. Like kind of take it. Um, like you, okay. Good prop bottle. This is foreshadowing. Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain. I can't tell you that Stewardor. Stewardor. Um, it's an Isla Scotch, right? If you like Isla Scotch, lean into different Isla Scotch. I've never had that Bunnahabhain, ever, ever. But I'm fixing to open it soon, ish. Or if you're really into, oh God, I'm stuck. If you're really into, I can't get straight. Hey, stop. It's not funny. Glenmorangie. This is the Glenmorangie Nectar Noir. Video coming soon. Calm down. Um, if you're really into Highland scotches and you were like, man, I love the flavor profile of a Highland scotch, there's so much out there for you. Try it. Try it. I mean, there's so many different. Uh, I don't know your state, your area, but like Total Wine, we have them here in Texas. It is a pretty good place for scotches. They have a fairly large Scotch um, lineup. A lot of house brand, or a lot of like, the what is it, Spey River, Spey Burn, stuff like that. It's okay. It's good stuff. Granger Stone, I think, is their house brand. Um, it's it's good, but like it's kind of like an independent bottler, right? But no, it's actually a non-distiller producer, right? They're taking other people's whiskey and bottling it and slapping a different label on it. Again, good whiskey. We know it's all Scotch, right? Because it has to be, and if it's age stated, all that stuff, we know all that, all those things that like if it's a 12-year-old Highland, it doesn't have to necessarily say Highland malt, right? But if it's a single malt, 12 years old, we know it has to be at least a 12-year-old malt. And Costco and uh, Total Wine and Specs and places like that, they're really doing. They're making some cool, or releasing some cool stuff. I've seen 18-year-old single malt scotches go for $50, $75, which is like crazy. It's crazy to me, really is. Um, anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's difficult when you go out there because there's so many scotches. There's so many scotches to choose from. You have no idea what you're looking for. And so I'm hoping that this is opening your eyes a little bit to it. And after this, we are going to dive into some scotches, and we are going to kind of give you some tasting notes of certain scotches. And I might dive into each region separately. I obviously I couldn't do it while I was on chemo treatments, right? So that's I kind of wanted to have it while I was doing the thing, and I might do that the next one when we talk about Isla. Um, well, for one, because I love Isla, but for two, because it really gives you like some tasting notes, really, and you can go anywhere and find tasting notes for Scotch. You know, you can go anywhere. You can look at my Instagram. I have tasting notes for Scotch for different ones. But at the same time, it's like we just we kind of get stuck in a hamster wheel, if that makes sense. Like we just kind of do our thing. You know, we just do what we do. We don't really venture out a whole lot. And that's what I'm hopefully trying to get you guys to do is venture out a little bit, go get some single malt scotch or something like that if you're a bourbon guy. I'm just trying to relay more information to somebody so they can hear it. And I want to say this real fast, and then I'll go. Um, don't worry about what people think about you. Don't worry about what people are going to say. This is just personal. Okay, I'm gonna get a little personal. Don't worry about what people say about you. Don't worry about what the world throws at you. Just do you. Just keep doing you, because eventually, it will pay off. And shoot your shot. Shoot your shot with people and with things. If you are really adamant about certain things, shoot your shot. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, I'm. This is 100% transparency. Okay, I have nothing to hide. Um, I've been struggling getting back to life after going through what I went through. Right, not struggling in a bad way, not like that, but like getting back into the podcast. And like I was always here and I was always doing the podcast, but like getting back into it, and getting back into doing the things that I normally do, and contacting potential guests and stuff like that. Just shoot your shot. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to tell you no. If you can't take rejection, maybe this ain't the thing for you. You know what I mean? Like, I literally have reached out to a lot of people, and um, hopefully, hopefully, I have. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But hopefully, it pays off, and that's all that matters. And it already has paid off. Just me being bold and brash, not brash in the way where you're like, hey, I'm the best in the world, come work with me. No, that's not what I'm saying. Being very poignant to the point. Hey, I'm doing a thing, you want to be part of it? Cool. That's it that's it I'm doing a thing, you want to be part of the thing or not? And I think that's why people respond well to it, is they're like, I'm not asking you for anything, right? um so yeah, just trying to be really transparent, in life, period. I told a client, because somebody saw me the other day driving around in my van. I literally did one little job, little bitty something, I don't even remember. And somebody saw me and they said, hey, are you back working? And I said, no, not really. And they were like, what do you mean? I just saw your van. And I said, yeah, I was helping somebody out. I'm not back, and I'm being very selective with who I work with and work for. and that unfortunately might not be you. I'm sorry, it might not be you. Um, not okay. Stop right there. It's not because I don't need the money, right? I need the money. Obviously, I've got so much medical debt right now. It's not even funny. That will get paid eventually, right? But at the same time, like I have to know my worth, and you have to know yours. You know, and it's just one of those things. It's life. That's what life is. Life is trying to figure it out. Just figure it out and go from there. And when you drop kids and a wife and all of the other stresses of the world, not that kids and a wife are a stress. That's not what I'm saying. You drop kids in there, now you're worried about them. You're worried about their well-being, their health, their livelihood. Am I raising them the right way? Are they doing good? Are they stealing my whiskey behind me? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. And then you have a wife or a husband or who, a significant other, a lover. I don't care. I'm using it very personally, but use it however you want. A good friend, whatever, that also takes up space in your mind and in your heart, which is great. You want that, but then you also have to take and do what's right for you personally. And that's one of the things that I've learned through all this is the old adage, work to live, don't live to work, right? Don't live to work, because one day you're going to be 65-year-old man and can't walk, and you have nothing to show for it, and your family hates you. Everybody hates you because you were an asshole. I'm just saying. Just saying. I I know where it comes from. I know where it comes from because it's stressful being a human. It really is. It's stressful being a human. It's hard to be a human being in this world. Um, Sometimes I feel like some people aren't human, but anyway, that's beside the point. But um, it's really stressful, and you take that stress certain ways, and there's only so many things you can do with it. So I say all that to say this: keep doing you, keep doing what's right for you. Let the whiskey be not a guide, because obviously we talked about that, but let the whiskey be not a catalyst, but mm, a a beacon, but like not in the way of like a beacon of hope that's all I can think about, right? The whiskey is an asset that you can use on your side, learning more about it. Because we always, in throughout history, have. Oh man, I'm gonna go deep. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to end this deep. Not deep. I mean, my brain is very shallow, so don't get it twisted. But we're gonna go a little deep. But you know, oh man, did I lose it? I was talking too damn much and I lost it. Did I? Man, that sucks. That really sucks because I had a cool comment. But anyway, we're bombarded with things and oh, I get it. I got it back. Good. So like we go through the motions of life and we do the thing. We work the job, we have the family, we have the life. We do what we're supposed to do. We do our tithings, we do our whatever we have to do to make life work. And then we find very little joy in that life. There's very little joy. And if one thing, and I'm not trying to get spiritual on you or anything, but if it's one thing that the Lord has told me is to find solace in peace. Find solace in not promoting your entire life to the struggle, the struggle of life. Live peacefully, live happily, and do things that make you happy. Now, there is a caveat to that. There's no, YOLO. You know what they say, YOLO, just do it, YOLO. That yes, that is true, but we do have certain guidelines that we are put in to where like YOLO, what, go kill people, YOLO, do whatever you want, hurt other people, it's fine. No, that's not true. That's not true. There is consequences to your actions. Yeah, all of your actions. Like we talked about in dry January. There's consequences to drinking, consequences to over drinking. There's consequences to all of it. So use your adult brain and think about that accordingly. Does that make sense? Just just be very diligent about what you're doing in your life. And it's hard for people to do it. It's hard for people to grasp, like, where do I want to be, because we're told at such a young age to hustle and work or go to college and get a degree that we don't do, you know what I mean, that makes no money. We're told to do these certain things, and then we come to find out we're like, well, that's not what I wanted to do ever. But yet we're stuck, like you're stuck in a thing. No, you're not. You're never stuck. It's never too late to start over. Now, financially, mentally, spiritually, it might be hard. It might be hard to start over, but it's never too late. And that goes for whiskey as well. It's never too late to branch out and to start something new. Like, you want to start doing more and more, like, tastings, like, not tastings like with friends, but like, you want to start writing down more notes. Get you a notepad. I know it's dorky. Like I get it, bro. It's dorky. But like, get you a notepad and write down your tasting notes. Nobody else's. Nobody else's. Don't do research. Don't do anything. Smell the whiskey. What does it smell like? Taste the whiskey. What does it taste like? What's the finish like? Write those things down, right? To start, you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, right? I didn't become the mecca of whiskey knowledge. I'm sorry. That was so stupid. I haven't got in the small amount of knowledge that I have. That didn't happen overnight. It's been going on for years, right? So just understand that, and just I don't know. I really I don't know how to say it. Um I can't. Oh, I'm not even on the mic. That's funny. That's funny. Anyway, I really appreciate, all the people who are putting the hard the hard lines in, you know what I mean? Like, all the hard they're doing the hard work, you know what I mean? And they're really trying to, I don't know, they're um, no, so one thing I want to ask all of you, let me turn this down a little bit. This is all new to me, so just Um, for one, do you like this type of content on this new platform that I'm using? You're not going to see it, but you're going to hear it. It might sound different, stuff like that. Do you like that? But also, I would ask you, and I hate to ask you because you've already done so much for me, to share this podcast with somebody. If everybody who is a member, who is following me, or whatever you want to call it, if everybody shared it with one person, that would make my day. I'm just asking. I know some of you that are following don't really listen all the time. I get it. Whiskey's not for everybody all the time. I get that. I could sit here and talk about it for hours all day, and I do. So just understand that. It's it's really one of those things where, you're not doing it so much for me, but for the community, because building back up the community is what all of this is about. Getting more views on there means I can get better guests for you. That's the thing. And that's part of the reason why I started the Patreon, was because I want to be able to get better guests, better equipment. For some reason, my headphones aren't connecting to the dang thing and I can't hear what I'm saying. Anyway, it's fine. Um, Hopefully it works and I don't have to record this whole thing over again, because I threw some of the stuff in the trash can, so it's gonna be like, oh god, what now? But anyway, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for the support and the love and the adoration. if you want to call it. It's not adoration. Like, you guys aren't like showering me or nothing, but um, I just really appreciate everything that y'all are doing, all the just the good vibes. I'll just say that, the good vibes. It's been really, really cool. And if you want to get video of this particular podcast, jump over to the Patreon, and you'll get to see my ugly mug talking to you instead of just the voice. I don't know. Some people like that. I don't know. You do what you got to do. But what that does, it helps me, in the long run. So enough shameless plugs. Enough talking about myself or whatever. I thank you all. I love you, and I mean that. I really do. Like you guys have been helping me through a time, and I thank you for it. I really do. And until next time, keep your spirits up. Peace out.